if it goes. The Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, now 10% closer to being on time.
Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans, by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
That was dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gray.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host.
Hey, I'm your host. I am John Taman. And you know what? It is August. It is early August. It's getting close to mid-August, but it's about time I remake the opening of the podcast here because we got to get rid of our occasional guest, Keith Gray, on there. He's never on here anymore. And we gotta come up with some better stuff for this year. Although I do like that when my friend Jesse over there says, "Hot damn, I got it right 3 weeks in a row." When he says the Cowboys are finished, do you understand me? I don't know how I'm going to get any better than that. What do you think, Jesse?
You could keep some of that stuff in there.
Some of that stuff. I know Scott doesn't like his because it says the F word in here. Oh, no, but you made me change it in the middle of the stream last year, and that's why my name is not at the end anymore, because you made me change it. I understand.
You know, I think the name at the end is a little awkward. Not having the name is a little awkward.
It is a little awkward because then I have to come on and introduce myself, even though we paid big bucks for that fucking guy with that awesome voice to do it. And, I'm sure we could probably get him to do it again. Anyway, down there at the bottom there, that's my friend from Barrow and Furnace, UK, Scott Chlamydia. See, this is the thing about me and British accents. I tend to trust you people. So when you tell me that you have chlamydia, I believe you.
Oh my word! It was
I
a
believed
joke.
you.
I said
I was
a COVID.
Thanks for being with us.
I said I had a COVID test and
No. Scott, you brought this on yourself.
Talking about chlamydia, thanks for being with us.
You brought it on yourself. Okay.
I thought that was funnier than shit. That's what I was
said
thinking. I was like,
tested positive for chlamydia.
You
know John Taman's going to fucking run with that shit.
goddamn right. I'm thinking, damn, Scott's hanging out in like a 19th century cat house.
no, I am not.
He's got to move like 10 bustles out of the way just to find that filthy hole. Anyway. All right, so enough of that. I was going to make fun of Scott, but then he told me he just had plain old COVID, and I was rather disappointed. It would have been much more fun if you'd had chlamydia. I would have had so much fun.
Well, it wouldn't have been fun in my household, that's for sure.
I was going to say.
There's an awkward conversation right there.
I wouldn't be on this podcast, that's for sure, unless I was doing it from my car.
All right, well, then let's restart with Scott. And, I forgot. Here's your car. Telling me that if you had chlamydia, she'd make you live in that?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's not a gay
You'd
bar.
find out. He found himself in a gay bar.
No, I didn't. No,
No?
there is. Yeah. No.
This is kind of fun. Here we are at the first week of the preseason. We get to reset all of our goofy shit about Scott because if he was living in his car, he'd be doing a lot of this.
Jesse's Castle went was the over in the LA and San Francisco. It was 40.5 and turned out to be 41.
All right, so I'm glad everybody tuned in with us tonight to be able to watch these fun things. Well, Deluxe, you're here for the. Well, we actually wrote up a list today of what we're going to do, and it says show open general bullshitting, and I think that fits. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So Jesse, you were running away from tornadoes yesterday.
I did. Yeah. It was
pussy.
At least I think it was because you put two and two together. My work iPhone went off like extremely loud, annoying sound and buzz, and it said tornado warning.
Right.
I'm in the truck, look in my rearview mirror, and it looked like a fucking funnel cloud. So I'm driving,
right,
trying away. I think it's going away at least, and then I'm also putting up the weather app on my phone, And lo and behold, there's a freaking tornado warning on there, and also it also had the hook echo, which I sent to you guys. I'm like, dude, I'm running away from this.
Yeah, I remember on Channel 4 it came on that said it was really centered right on your car. That's what it said. Centered on Jesse Martin down there in southeastern Pennsylvania. Now, Scott, I know you're thinking the same thing I am. He said 2 + 2 =, and then he never said. So.
Well, exactly. Yeah. I know.
Nice way to cover there. All right. So, what have you done this week, Scott? Besides get over chlamydia?
Not a great deal, to be honest with you. It's been all right. Busy week at work.
I guess so. You got to inform all your coworkers, right? Everybody that used the same urinal, right?
Hello. Yeah. 630 people in the office. Yeah, no problem at all, John. Yeah, let's tell them
right.
all. But no, it's all good. And I'm getting better. COVID's it's past, but still feel a bit but I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm getting there. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. So everybody continue to send your cards and your well wishes and money.
Money, yeah. Yeah, have you not seen this terrible merch thing behind me? It's the saddest looking display ever.
Real sad.
It is a rather
it's
sad
not though,
display.
it's not because you guys are on there, so that's all good. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah.
So,
I mean, I got some helmets up here. I know there's guys out there like Sean in South Carolina, or Sean in
Florida.
Dude had Sean in Florida. He's got fucking millions. This is unbelievable helmets, man. He's got a whole room full of helmets. Crazy.
He buys them then sells them for an outrageous price.
That's all right. That's fine by me. I'm not going to buy them, but I at least have some mini helmets. Scott, you've got some pimple helmets back there.
Well,
it's probably where you got them, right?
Those helmets looked like they were on Christmas lights. I had some when I was a kid, and you put them on your Christmas tree, and you can take the little helmets off. I think I still have a couple of them laying around.
I bet you that string of lights would be worth something. All right, so we do have a teaser because it is sort of the opening of the brand new season here because it is the first week of preseason, and we're going to run a fantasy football league here on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. We're going to, Jesse, why don't you go ahead and explain it? You know it better than I do.
Yes, we decided, I don't know how it came about, but I think John came up with an idea that we should do a little fantasy league.
Right.
And we will be doing our draft live. Now, conversations went and we found that we should do have 2 divisions, Brits versus Americans. So this is going to be a 10-team league. We got 5 Brits, mainly from the 1 Point Safety Show, and some of our guests that's come on here before. Our friend Tony Wheat from Full Press Coverage, Scouse and Scott from the 1 Point Safety Show, and then we have obviously me and John and Max, John's son, who has also been a guest on here. Our buddy Toothpick from the First Strings podcast, and then we have a couple other mates from UK, Mark and his son Joseph. That's going to round out the Brit side. And the Yank side, we still have 1 spot available. So we're going to kind of open it up to our listeners and to see who would like to
send us money.
The league.
Right. Send us a 20. The first one to get a $20 bill in.
Don't send us money. It's fine.
That's how you get in these things. But we'll probably say, hey, to whoever's the first one that says I want to play, because really we're not all that fucking picky.
No.
I'm looking forward to representing the Yanks. I thought that was something I'd kept secret most of my life, but apparently everybody does this. So I'm happy to be playing along.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a shit talk league, and we will do a little 2-3 minute segment each week on how the week went through so you can follow us during the season, seeing how this league goes. And this is a shit talking league, so we are going to make fun of pretty much everybody.
And we will have somebody here to explain what the fuck Scouse said.
That's true.
So,
I'll be his interpreter. It's fine, John. Don't worry.
Right. Everybody will be like, "What the hell did he say? Was that funny? I don't know." Anyway, all right. So there you go. We're gonna throw that out there in a little while about how that's all going to work out. We're gonna do some other things because we three don't do anything but breathe football from here on out. So on Saturdays we do a pick'em show. We're gonna have a pick'ems league and all kinds of nifty stuff. So stay tuned to the end of the show. and we'll tell you all about that. How about that? That was some fucking podcasting shit right there, wasn't it? All right. Okay, so let's just break into a little bit of a roundtable discussion since it happened on Monday. But the unofficial depth chart came out. We've since seen practices.
I got a question. Hold on.
Go ahead. We'll talk about the depth chart quickly.
Please don't.
What's a soggy biscuit?
Oh no!
What's a salty biscuit?
No.
A soggy biscuit.
That is not for this podcast.
I don't know why not.
That is not.
I don't know why not.
Sure?
I told Ken Johansson to get a blowjob for his birthday. It's okay for this podcast.
It's true. Okay, so the game of soggy biscuit is a game where you have a digestive biscuit. And I'm not even going to go there. It's wrong. No, we're not.
Do you coat it with a protein-like substance?
You do, yeah. There's a substance that kind of looks like egg whites, and the one that finishes last eats the biscuit.
Really?
Oh. Wow.
Damn. That's a. How do you get into a game of this?
Could that be next?
When somebody brings this up at a party, how do you not just punch him in the fucking head?
Exactly. I don't know how it even started, but
I got an idea.
It's a thing that mainly paratroopers and Royal Marines play. So it is.
All right, well, I don't want to get any of them mad at me. So if they want to play the salty biscuit, that's fine with me. And Jesse,
soggy.
Amazingly enough, manages to embarrass Scott.
Wow.
Yes, all right. So,
sorry, were you in a wind tunnel?
It came out.
What was that, John?
What?
Him and his fucking wind tunnel.
Did I?
It's like whale music.
Really? What the hell happened there?
I don't know.
I don't know. You're all right now. You good? You good, man? You good?
Fine. Okay, that sounds cool. Hey, I wish I could have heard it. All right, so the unofficial depth chart that came out on Monday, I can't seem to get anybody to talk about. Right. Unofficial. So is there anything on? I mean, we've seen some things that have shaped out since then, and like for example, Emmanuel Forbes showing up on there as number 2, and then being a starter on yesterday's fucking disaster for him.
Listen again, and like that's why I pointed out. I'm sorry I was late for your show yesterday. It has come out and it said over and over and over again that the coaches do not make these depth charts. These depth charts are made by the PR people.
Really? The PR people?
The actual PR people. So saying that Derek Forrest is playing above as the number 2 strong safety is
inaccurate.
Actually false. That's not true. And it's showed all camp long that he has been playing with third and fourth strings. Same with Emmanuel Forbes. He's been playing with the first strings. So you can't trust what these depth charts say, period.
Well, it's unofficial. Hang on a minute. Somebody's at my fucking door.
So you really can't take much from these depth charts. I mean, it's kind of like it might happen, maybe, but...
I mean, it gives you a good steer in the general direction of where things are, Jesse. That's what you've got to be thinking about. And I suppose what I took from it were things to note were that, Quan Martin starting free safety, which we all thought would happen. Chin starting it strong. Really, who's kick return, who's punt returner down. And then Zacchaeus was one of the wide receivers starting.
Yeah.
That
and I get that, I do get, because Luke McCaffrey maybe, needs a little bit more time as a rookie. I mean, he's only played wide receiver for 2 years, so that's definitely understandable. But, I just take this depth chart with a grain of salt. The only depth chart that really matters is the one after the cut to 53.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up at the very beginning, and I wasn't going to spend too much time on it. But I figured we're a once a week show, so we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on it, even though by now it's completely all moot. So we had a practice yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, I hear you woofing over there. Go ahead. What do you got first about the practice that you're going to react about?
I mean, really, I'll leave that to Jesse because he was wanting to talk about the secondary, wasn't he? And I think we have to look at Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, Garrett Wilson's a very good receiver. There's no denying that he is a top receiver. But I think it was more over, yes, he's put this 15 pounds on supposedly, but it doesn't help your coverage skills. He's giving way too much gap off the line. I mean, ideally, I mean, 9 times out of 10, the corner's probably going to get beat. I don't think there's going to be many corners that are going to be able to cover Garrett Wilson, but he gave up an awful lot yesterday. He got very chippy as well, a lot of hand fighting. And yes, he had an interception. Brilliant, fantastic, that's great. But is that gonna matter when it comes to playing for this team? I have to question overall what this team has actually done over the last 2 to 3 drafts. Because if you look at the draft 2 years ago, there's what is there now? 3 players left on this roster. Yeah. I mean, it's abysmal. Now we're looking at people like Stromberg, who's not, he's our 3rd centre almost. He hasn't pushed on, which is worrying. The only one who Ron has really hit on, I suppose you could say, is Cosme. And then it's almost like that. Look what you could have won. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that, Jesse. That's fair enough.
There's not enough yet on him. We like him, but there's not enough yet.
I'll say this about
because I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you what. Before you go any further on that, let me just say this about Quan Martin on that play that Forbes got roasted over the top. Martin got freaking roasted as well. Martin was supposed to keep covering on that, and he got his eyes taken away from it. It caused him to stutter step, and that took away the coverage over the top.
I mean,
Quan, I like him, but
I'm not going to take too much. A lot of this fan base kind of fucking just fell off the cliff, like this fan base always does. We know that off of one fucking practice.
That's what we're supposed to do.
I'm not, but putting Emmanuel Forbes on the opposing team's top receiver man to man, I think is not a smart move because he's not a man to man corner. He has never been a man to man corner. He's always been his own corner. That's most. Even your Darrelle Revis's, most ball hawking defensive backs that make a lot of interceptions.
They break on the ball, right?
That they play zone, and that gives you a better chance. I think this coaching staff is doing a little bit of a disservice, and maybe they're doing it for their own information, and that's what I'm kind of leaning on. Like, what's the limits? Can we, press Emmanuel Forbes? Because we saw it last year. He's not a big guy, and I mean, it's not his fucking fault, obviously.
Really?
But playing press man against the top receivers in the game, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. And I don't think they're going to put Emmanuel in that position this year. If they do, I'm going to have serious questions about the coaching staff.
Well, you would hope.
I understand that, but what I'm going back to is, does this show you what the talent spotting and the scouting was like under this previous regime?
Oh, we know it's terrible.
I know it was, but let's go back and look and say Chase Young.
I'm not faulting Ron for picking Emmanuel Forbes. The kid was a goddamn first round pick talent, 100%. If you can't believe that, then there's something wrong.
Here's the thing. Well, we keep saying, okay, he keeps getting out there one-on-one with these top receivers. Well, it's the NFL. There's top receivers on every team. And yesterday, the one that everybody's watching the video of, watch Quan Martin on that play. He's supposed to be back trying to give some help, but he kind of
watched Forbes on the play. Forbes was right fucking there.
Forbes took his eye off him just for a second when the ball was coming in.
If he put his left hand up, the ball wouldn't have been called. Period.
Well, you know what ifs are?
Look, I think it got better. It got better for Forbes. It got better for Forbes at the end. But all I'm saying to you there is, you just said, "Oh, he's a first-round pick." I agree with you, Jesse. But what could you have had? Gonzalez is on the board. Joey Porter Jr.
We don't know anything about Gonzalez. We have 5 games of Gonzalez.
Right, because 5 games. You can't say anything because we would have thrown him to this coaching staff, and there would have been everything is. There's so many intangibles when it comes to that kind of
there
stuff.
is.
But the fact of the matter is, I've got to start to question his mental toughness and see whether or not he can
absolutely, I 100% agree.
Because this business about whether or not he's been thrown out against number ones, whatever, that's what he's got to do, because otherwise it's Benjamin St. Jude's. It ain't going to work out. So if he's a first round pick, it's the second year. And if we're going to, like I said about Sam Howell last year, he's not a number 5 pick. He's a second round quarterback. Okay, well, he's not a first round pick anymore. He's a starting cornerback. You got to get out there and play against these big guys.
Yeah, but you can play
doesn't
against these
show
big
up.
guys, but you have to. He's got to be put in a position to succeed, and
That's
he
why I
has
say,
not
look,
yet.
watch Quan on that play.
You know?
He bites hard on that. Yeah, he should have been over the
Listen, look, I'm not going to take anything away from Garrett Wilson. He's a phenomenal wide
he's a great
receiver.
player.
Sure, but there's phenomenal guys everywhere, man.
That's
You
true.
gotta
That's true.
hold them down.
What about next week's practice against Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle? Come on,
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just going to get worse. And I'm looking at this and
it
thinking,
doesn't get much
genuinely,
worse than Tyreek
is
Hill.
this?
Well,
are we overhyping our own players? This
We always
squad
do.
is shit.
We
Let's
always
be honest
we're
with
hoping.
you. It's a terrible roster
I
from
think
last year in the
coming
amount of work
from the Vince,
Scott goes over the edge of the fucking cliff.
No,
I've said it-
in the secondary, we've
I've said it all year long. Going into last year, the cornerbacks are our biggest weakness of the whole entire team.
It was also a single practice in the rain.
That's true.
I know.
I know.
I know.
And like
That's
we
why
saw.
that's why I'm saying take it with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah,
right
we
now.
see
Yeah,
the
take that
video
with a
of
grain of
Jaden
salt.
Daniels hitting Ertz on the first play. Right. Oh, look at him over the middle there. Okay, well, you see the freaking defensive back fall down. Okay, these are 7-on-7s. All right. The only thing I'm saying about Forbes is that's a one-on-one play back there, man. You got to be a little bit better than that. You got to break some of these up sometimes. At least sometimes. If you're the ball hawk, let's go see you knock one down.
He had like 3 pass breakups and an interception. So,
And an interception.
Yeah,
so,
okay, I'll give you that.
did
I'm
well.
just talking about the 4-second video that I see on
Look,
Twitter. I mean,
cornerbacks
goddamn it,
are
I'm
gonna
a
get
fucking
burnt.
fan, right?
We've been watching it all year round. I mean, there's touchdowns scored by throws every game in every year.
Yeah.
It happens. But what he's got to do.
Let me write that down in the big book of football knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah. Make sure you put that in capital letters.
People throw.
He's got. I think
Touchdown
you're on
passes.
point, John, with his mental toughness. Cornerbacks have to be mentally
in
tough
every game.
because they're going to get burnt.
Yeah,
It's the way that he comes
yes, they
back.
are, but
yeah. And that's why I keep bringing up Quan Martin on that play, because I think that if Quan's back there, he might have a better chance at it. And I also think if you look at him, I read Mark Bullock today, and he broke that play down so nicely about how what he doesn't do is he doesn't play with his hands. He doesn't try to he looks back for the ball too late. If the ball is like right here when he starts to look back for it, he doesn't play the receiver in any way. When you're in a situation like that, look at the receiver. When his eyes go up, get your hands into his hands, and he just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm definitely agreeing with you. I definitely agree. Like I said,
That's straight from Mark.
I think we're going a little overboard. I think the fan. The fan base is going a little bit overboard. I think we're still trying in wait and see mode. Before
Tomorrow's a good
we should
wait and
make
see game.
Drastic, but I do I've been saying. I think cornerback is the weakest room in the whole entire.
yeah, to try and be
whole
negative
team.
here, but do you think though that the overreaction is caused by the way that Forbes performed last year as well?
Oh, of
Hasn't
course.
helped him.
Of course.
Hasn't helped him.
Absolutely.
But there's no pass rush yesterday. There's no pressure.
no.
So we'll see tomorrow how it goes. And I mean, even still, it's a preseason game.
I expect to see Forbes.
They're not going to
there.
go out and run anything. We all know this. I'm not going to say.
I expect to see Forbes play a lot of that game tomorrow.
I should hope so. A half, I would hope. He's got to get out there and show it. I mean, it's not like he's going to get too tired. What's he carrying around there? About 74 pounds?
No, John. No, John. He got up to 78.
78 pounds.
If we go back to the depth chart and we go back to yesterday as well, what are we thinking about Jamin Davis here? That's a real worry.
I think he's cut. Man, I'm going forward like Jamin Davis is on this team.
See, I tell you what, I think that they're going to find a spot for him, keep him, and then they're going to try to either trade him and try to work off a reputation. I just don't see him letting go the skill. I mean, there's raw talent there. We've seen the speed. We've seen the pursuit. He's got to learn how to do it.
Show it, man. He's had 4 years
I agree.
to show it.
There's been times that he has, and there's been times that, he's been lost.
And y'all know I've said on this podcast, game after game, defending Jamin Davis. I'm done doing it. I'm done.
I can tell. Giving them all a good.
It's funny, isn't it? It's like we were talking about it yesterday and we're saying it is about it's always the word potential. but you don't see the potential at the end. And
Handful
it's
of
like
nothing.
these guys have been first-round picks, both of the people we're talking about, Forbes and him, and nothing's shown. Now, if that's poor coaching, then fair enough. Everyone deserves a mulligan. But it's what do you do? There's only so much time.
I've given a lot of players in the past year some leeway, some leash. You know, like Jamin, like Forbes. I'm still holding the leash for Forbes a little bit. I want to see what this coaching staff can do for him. But I'm over Jamin.
All right, so Jamin gets out of here. He gets that. All right, so let me see. What have we got here on our list of things that we were here to talk about? So yesterday, the offensive line, I thought. I have yet to see a cohesive offensive line. Well, I'm not even going to look at how the practice was. Coleman didn't practice, right? Wiley didn't practice. And, right now they don't have to put out any kind of an injury report. So tightness means what? What does tightness mean? Does tightness mean he's got a fucking hamstring?
I think it was either on Keim or JP. They were talking about, they're not giving out any.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
So, tightness.
Anything, but they're leaning back with Wiley. Then they're not really sure with Brandon Coleman.
Right, Coleman practiced the day before, but he didn't suit up on yesterday's practice.
Fine.
They might not. They might have just held him out because of the weather.
And they might. And Dan Quinn did say before in his press conference, you'll see people playing more in this practice and then not so much in the game, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So maybe he starts tomorrow in the game. We don't know.
He very well might.
Our tackle rooms. Our depth is thin,
toast.
guys.
Yeah, it's
it's thin. I'm almost at the point where I'm leaning Scouse' side and saying go after fucking block.
Fucking sign Scouse for crying out loud.
Or backyard.
He's in
backyard.
Yeah.
Scouse, get your bags packed. I think you can play left tackle because I'm watching film of Lucas yesterday, and again, Mark Bullock. If you don't subscribe, to Mark Bullock,
and Lucas has gotten beat on that time and time again.
He kept showing how he gets suckered into this two-handed punch that gets him all off balance, and he's easily beaten. Lucas cannot be out there unless it's a dire emergency, and I mean. I don't want to knock this front office in any way whatsoever, but they really have got a lot of hope pinned on Brandon Coleman, and so do we, because Lucas can't do it. He can't do it. And unless they're expecting somebody worthwhile coming through, Bakhtiari might be
Would you
3 years he hasn't played.
We're doing ifs, okay? Ifs and ands.
Ifs and ands.
What would you do with Coleman? Would you keep him on the left side and put Bakhtiari on the right, or would you go Coleman right side and put Bakhtiari with the left?
I really don't know at this moment because I haven't watched Coleman play left tackle. I haven't watched him play anything. Trent Scott got wiped around yesterday.
Yeah. I do want to see Wiley with the new coaching staff and the new scheme.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that. I'm trying my best to. Not go off the deep end with Wiley. I was pretty harsh on him last year, and deservedly so. But I am interested to see, what he can do, because he was healthy, and Dan Quinn said it earlier, is not how you go into training camp; it's how healthy you come out of training camp.
That's for sure.
If he's being smart with these players, kudos to him. Good for him. Keep him out, because I want them healthy for the start of the season. We need, because if we
don't have any depth.
If we go into the start of the season with fucking what's that? Mason Brooks, okay?
Alex Taylor.
Alex Taylor as your fucking
we just signed him the other day. Armani Taylor. I told you.
We're going to be fucked.
Yeah, it's Armani.
NFL rule that nobody really knew about. But if you cut an Armani, you have to sign an Armani. So we had to take care of it within 24 hours.
Daniels is your backup left tackle.
Braden Daniels is dude's going to be fucking driving a Metro bus this time next month. Bates at left tackle. Get out of it. Who was that? Who put that
Brian.
up there? Brian, what's the matter with you?
Is he big enough?
No, for God's sake, Scott. You're still feverish.
Enough.
Karen,
tall
get
enough,
this
but
man a cold rag.
Nowhere near big enough. Yeah.
All right.
But the guy they signed, that as you said, Armani, Alex Taylor, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'8" and 300 pounds. He looks
big
a beast,
boy.
But can he play?
6'8" is a big left tackle.
I heard someone say he had the body type of Ty and Seki.
Yeah. big boy when I saw him.
That's
Ty said he was a fucking
sounds like
monster,
John
man.
Runyon size to me, but you got to be able to move at that size. And I mean,
6'8"?
when we're talking about, Runyon was huge. When you're talking about right tackle, okay, if his tightness is just tightness and they're being smart and they're holding him out because they know they don't have any depth. Lucas, I feel better at right tackle than I ever will at left tackle. He's been better at right tackle because I don't know why he's better.
I want Lucas to be what Lucas has always been, a fucking swing tackle on the bench and only if needed.
Tell you what, I'd rather Lucas be a Dolphin or, like a Viking. So we could get somebody else in here that's better than that.
I think Chris Paul was taking reps at right tackle.
He looked pretty good yesterday. He was running around like a freaking pissed off rhinoceros.
Not at guard, at right tackle as well.
Chris Paul looked awful yesterday.
Yeah,
I was getting run over left and right.
All right, well, I didn't see too many things. I tell you what, yesterday I was watching Deuce's live feed, and I got to tell you what it is. It is Red Zone in the Lab on playback. I tell you what, he put up a link to it yesterday. It's on playback. You got to join to be a member of it, and I am. But I'll tell you what, he had the Jets live feed of practice so that we could all watch it.
Yeah, I was actually watching the Jets live feed of practice on YouTube, but
it was pretty cool.
30 minutes of it, dude. What the fuck? That was dumb.
I know.
Yeah,
well, it was
never
raining.
actually showed it properly. They just showed drills, which
they showed the Jets. They showed the Jets, and so hats off to Deuce. And I tell you what, anybody who's out there in our fan base that pays attention to podcasts or anything like that, if you're not following Deuce, the dude's on every channel around the dial. There's Deuce. And you should be appreciative of folks like that will take time in their morning like that to live stream something like that where we could sit around and talk about it. I had a ball in there because I got to tell you, man, I come from fucking Forestville, Prince George's County, and listen to those guys go at each other. That was taking me back. That was funny. I was having a blast in there yesterday. Anyway, so thanks, Deuce. All right, so what else about the practice yesterday did you like? Did you see Diami Brown?
Yeah, I was going to say wide receivers. He's probably secured his spot on this team.
And that
now,
scares the shit out of me, to be honest with y'all.
Because
he's one of those. He's like the epitome of those practice players, man.
Right.
Does good in practice, does shit in games.
Well, I'll tell you what. I noticed when we're talking about the bottom end of the roster, right? And I wouldn't even put him at the bottom. This guy's more at the middle end of the roster. But Zacchaeus had a nice catch and run yesterday.
Yeah.
And they brought him early in the slot. So that was good to see. I'd like to see how they line him up tomorrow.
I think Zacchaeus is going to start over McCaffrey for the first few games of the year.
I agree with you.
The PR people have McCaffrey at flanker. So what the fuck? That's what the PR people say.
That's what they say.
All right. So what does our list say we're moving on to?
Wide receivers.
Wide receivers. Well, there you go.
That, yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead.
I agree.
My boy.
So I agree with you. Go on.
No, you go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say, I agree with you, Jesse, that I think Zacchaeus is on this team. I think Brown is on this team. But you go ahead, mate, and you take the words right out of my house, out of my mouth. Your boy.
I am talking about a man or a kid named Bryson Tremaine. He
keeps showing up.
Keeps showing up. I know you guys were talking about training camp darlings. I think he has a legitimate chance of making this team, 100%. I probably put him over making it than I do Tyler Owens.
I'll tell you what.
I agree.
The thing about him is every time I hear his name, then I hear Mitchell Tinsley's name. Mitchell Tinsley has had an outstanding camp so far. And I think that those two are having a hell of a battle at the bottom of the wide receiver depth chart. And we called it early on, man. That's the thing that we wanted to see. I think I said earlier in the spring that folks weren't even paying attention to what our wide receiver room looked like. And it was a definite need. And I think we've addressed it. We've got some decent bottom end players there that I think are going to be able to play. I think I like Tinsley, but
I know because he's a Penn State guy.
He is a Penn State guy
too.
I've seen how he can play.
I did too, but I haven't heard anything.
He can also return punts.
Neither have I. I don't know where John's hearing it from. I would be interested too. But Tinsley, if you look at Tinsley, and he played great last year too in the preseason. He did make the final 50.
Yes, he did. He did.
Tinsley's got a shot to hang on. I think he's more of a practice squad guy, and the reason being is not that he doesn't have talent, because I definitely think he has talent. Hey Timothy, how you doing, buddy? Body type, man. Tinsley's another McLaurin. He's another McCaffrey. He's, you get, if they have room, and it's all a numbers game, man. It is all a numbers game. Don't you want a big-bodied receiver out there?
If the Olympics have taught me anything, it doesn't matter whether you have a penis or anything in your pants.
Jesus Christ.
You can go out there and you can play. So I'm not going to sit here and body shame Mitchell Tinsley because you want to be that way.
We have ladies in the chat. You know that,
Hi, Kim.
Right?
I think Kim is well used to me. And if she's not, well, dear, nice to see you.
Cam, thanks for being here, buddy.
I was looking for something, and now I forgot what the hell it was.
Scouse is calling him at Mitchell Grimsley.
Mitchell Grimsley. Well, you know what? If Scouse doesn't like him, I know he's in like Flint, because you know what? Scouse finds his guys to hate, and he hangs on to it forever.
That's
but
true.
let me ask you this. Our kicker.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Joey Sly?
Where's Joey Sly?
Where's Joey Sly?
Joey Sly. England.
It doesn't matter where he is. Dude, like I've said a million times, we're watching an Olympics where I'm watching women who, by the way, play.
You watching breakdancing?
I'm watching. No, I didn't watch
Oh, my
breakdancing.
word.
No.
Did you see the Australian today?
Oh, my God.
What was that?
No, I didn't watch. I was actually too busy today to watch it.
So bad. It was so terrible.
Was it really?
Oh,
I remind
pathetic.
you, chess is a fucking Olympic sport. Chess. So, France is going to France. And, for everybody that complains about the Olympics and why is this the sport this year and why did they put this blue guy and his balls on TV and, why don't they like Jesus? France is going to France. That's what they do. France.
So, I mean, looking at this, Ramiz Ahmed missed three field goal attempts from 40, and then Riley Patterson missed 2 from just over 45.
Jesus Christ. So we were 0 for 5.
I thought they were both the same. I don't know. I mean, could be wrong, but they both were bad. I give it was
John Kine.
awful weather, but but man,
I don't care.
Joey Sly wouldn't have missed those kicks in the point ring.
Since we're talking about them, let me pull some music up because I do have some emails.
Not that music, John.
Damn right, Kim. He kicked his field goal. I'm saying that we should never have released him.
All right.
I thought he was at the Jags. As I thought he'd been cut from the Patriots, but okay.
No.
All right. So our first email that came in this week. Let's see, dear podcast. If you are reading this, please accept my apologies. This email was supposed to go between the uprights. Signed, Ramiz Ahmed, kicker, Washington Command.
I like the quotations.
Let's see. Email number 2 that we got this week. Gentlemen, did you see my catch? It was a good one. I hope you saw it. Did you see it? I asked because I need everyone that saw my catch to say they saw my catch because I usually don't make a lot of catches, and the ones that I make in practice and preseason are the ones that keep that paycheck coming in, Did you see my catch? It was one-handed. Did you see it? Signed D. Brown, under the tree at Jets practice park. All right, let's see here. Excuse me, gentlemen, I am looking for my man. It is my man, and I was standing right here. I blinked my eyes, and now he's gone. I can't find him anywhere. Can you help? Signed, Emmanuel F., Ashburn, Virginia. So, there we have some emails
There
today.
you have it.
So anyway, all right, that ends the comedy portion of the show. So I hope you have all had a good time today. We're going to get back to some talking about some stupid football now. All right, so we do have a preseason game coming up, right?
We do.
All right. So it's really just an extension of it.
You all right there? You all right there?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. So if you're new to us, I'm sorry. If you're new to us, that's what happens quite a bit. I get myself lost in myself. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. I forget what my name is. All right. So welcome back. So this is how we do it. All right. So we do have a lot of different things that we do during the course of a season. If you've never been with us, I think that you should join us what are we going to do? Mondays at 5:30?
Yes, sir.
All right, or the day after the game. All right, 5:30 Monday, or how many? Do we have any Monday night games this year? Was just one?
Maybe.
All right, so yeah. And if we have a Thursday night game, we'll come on Friday. You get the picture, right? We also come on right after the game, despite whatever inebriated state or state of rage that we're in. We come on directly after the game. So, and that can be fun because usually, I mean, there's times that it's 3:00 in the morning over in the UK and they're all drunk and pissed off over there. You know, that kind of stuff happens. We do have a couple of segments that we like to do. What was the one you were asking me about yesterday, Jesse, that you wanted to do? Turd of the week or something?
Turd of the week, yeah.
Turd of the week.
Did you see that picture I sent?
I saw that picture. That
Jesus
is ridiculous.
Christ. I got to say. Jesse is going to get me fired for the pictures that I accidentally
downloaded, and that will be the caption. Oh my God.
I didn't know WhatsApp downloaded every picture to my phone. And then I'm at work and I'm like, here, let me show you.
Off.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I'm new to this thing. I'm old. So I'm at work and I'm like, here, let me show you this picture I got. And Jesse has a picture of a woman who's got a tattoo of herself on her arm. Well, she's in Flagrato, let's just say. She's in Filato, we should say. Yeah, and so I'm like, I sound like, you know, when my mom caught me with a hash pipe or something like that. It's my friend's. It's from my friend.
I'm not.
Right. Shit, Scotty found himself in a gay bar.
No, I didn't. No,
No.
there is. Yeah. No.
There we go. So yes. All right, so we do have some definite things we do every week after the game. So we do our let's see. I think sometimes we have this.
Shut up! Sit the fuck down and shut up! Shut up and sit down. Will you shut up? Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
Right, and we reserve that for practically anybody that needs it. Just if you need to be told to shut the fuck up and sit down, politics doesn't count. We're not going to do anything with politics because that's all we'd be doing is telling you. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up! Shut up! Sit the fuck down and shut up! Shut up and sit down. Will you shut up? Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
Right.
She's so annoying. Good God, she's so
just
annoying.
Shut up. Every week, instead, you know, everybody likes to give their grades for who played well and pick and everything like that. We like to do butt pats and head smacks. So
Butt pat. Attaboy.
head smacks. Get out of here. Right. So we'll do that. So we'll give you a butt pat.
Attaboy.
If you did a good job, and then we'll give you a head smack. Get out of here. If you did not. What else do we do? Sometimes we go to Jesse's house for dinner. God dang right. Pay us some taters. Tell you what, Scott, when you come over here for week 2, we're going to feed you some possum. I just saw that in parts of Virginia, they're debating whether they're going to make it illegal to eat roadkill.
See, it's all right. You're going, oh, yeah, I'll feed you some possum. We're eating sheep's lungs, mate, and black pudding, so
I
don't
guess
worry
so.
about
You're
it.
right. You're right. Right. Yeah. You got nothing on. Well, you people are fucking disgusting. Play that with some mandolins, and it's the same damn thing.
What you actually played there was the anthem of Norfolk. Because the people of Norfolk, believe it or not, actually Norfolk is sinking into the North Sea. And what will happen in about 25 years when it does finally sink into the North Sea is they'll actually be able to use their webbed feet and hands. It'll be brilliant.
There we go. Everybody, some British humor.
Hey, I'm here all week.
That's right. All right.
Why
So we
should be on the stage.
Yeah, I just
John,
noticed
you know what I mean?
something.
Your wife said you should be on the stage. Can you even dance on the pole? Can you?
No,
can you
sweeping
do that?
it.
Scott, during that picture, did someone try to assassinate you? I saw that.
No, he's called a barber. Yes, the barber cut my ear.
You had a bandage on that ear.
I did, yeah.
I never noticed that before.
All right. Really?
I guess.
Okay, I never noticed that either. All right. So, Jesse, do me a favor real quick while I do something. Just go ahead and just kind of introduce tomorrow's game so that we can talk about that.
Exactly.
All right. Jets, Commanders.
There you go. Thank you.
Life. I mean, what more do you want to know?
Well, I don't need to know anything. I just need a minute here to get this picture down before somebody else kills me.
So what are we going to look for in this game? I mean, obviously, they said Jaden Daniels is to come out and start.
Yeah.
I don't see more than a series. Is Wiley and Coleman going to actually play? And if they don't, I don't know if I would play Daniels in that game. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to see what Daniels has got, obviously. We're all interested in seeing what his footwork's like, seeing how he escapes the pocket as well. I don't want him running for his life in the first preseason game, so I understand where you're coming from there. It will be interesting. I think they'll give him a quarter and then call it a day from there. But the O-line is very, very worrying at the moment.
Well,
that's the one thing that worries me.
The middle of the O-line, I mean, they held up well against Quinnen Williams, man. Cosme's a rock. Tyler, but Badass is good, and Allegretti's holding his own. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the bookends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tell you what, you lean heavy on run. That's what you want to do. You try to give Brian Robinson a few carries. You try to give Eckler a few carries. And I am of the thinking, I don't want to – you can't bubble wrap guys, man. When you go try to get out there and run half speed or try not to get somebody hurt, somebody always gets hurt. So go out there and play. And I'd like to see a quarter out of Jaden Daniels. I'd like to see him start out there and get going unless they're just killing him. I mean, if they're killing him, to save his life, get him out of there. Discretion's a better part of valor. But if they're not hitting him too much, he's going to take a lump or two. Play. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you read these defenses. You got to learn. You got to progress. And a quarter, I don't think is too much. By the way, this segment is brought to you by Jesse Martin's cable service. I don't know if you can see that or not. Scout sent me this about 3 weeks ago. He found this in his neighborhood. This dude on the back of the truck looks just like Jesse. So thanks, thanks to Scouts for that.
If you could zoom it in.
I know. I gotta do some cropping with it. I just didn't have time because I just remembered I had it. So.
Yes, Kim is right. Hopefully, look better than yesterday. And like we said in the beginning, let's
the weather
take with what we saw with a grain of salt. It was practice. I mean, we're talking about practice. So,
that's right.
But I'm just trying not to let it fucking worry me, even though I did send that text that we're gonna fucking be shite again.
I'm not going to tell on Kim, but she was also talking about how our players were too small. How the Jets players were huge and our players were small. So it's all about perspective.
So I mean,
Scouts, geez, dude's freaking rubbing me. Damn, dude. Thanks for the free entertainment. You're welcome. Jeez. All right, so you know what? I guess we will see Sam Hartman tomorrow, will we?
Oh yes.
Yeah, all right, we'll see Marcus Mariota. We'll see some Sam Hartman. I'm interested to see offensive line. I want to see cohesion. Yeah. You're right about the interior of the line. That's one thing I'd like to see. And I tell you, to me, obviously we want to see the DBs, but I'm really interested in the bottom of the wide receiver depth chart. And we're all off of our thing here. Jesse was supposed to talk about the DBs, and Edge was supposed to be Scott, and I'm supposed to be talking offensive line, and now I'm talking about the wide receivers. So go ahead, Scott. Tell us about the edge.
Yeah, edge-wise, I'm looking forward to seeing who can do what. I want to see what Cleveland Farrell has got if they're going to start and play. I want to see whether he is going to cement himself as a starter in this team. Obviously, want to see Dorrance Armstrong paid him a fair bit of money as a number one edge rusher, which he hasn't been necessarily in Dallas. He's been a situational starter. So I want to see how he's transitioned there. And ideally, I want to see what this interior defensive line does. When Johnny Newton didn't practice again, and it's going to take him a while. I'd expect him to be the Miami game, maybe even the final game, the Patriots, is where I'd like to probably see him because he's a couple of weeks behind everybody else. But it's the camp battles really here. It's what's John Ridgway going to bring to us? What's Phil Mathis going to do? What does the rest of this interior look like as well? Because people are starting to fight for jobs now, and that's kind of what I want to see. But do you care, genuinely, round table here, do we even care about this game because it's preseason?
Well, care in the sense of score. I in preseason games, I don't even keep track of the score, except that, hey, we scored and that was a good play. But the things that you're talking about, I definitely want to watch. I'd like, when we've got our number one defense out there, our defensive line, I want to see some pressure. I want to see some pressure. I don't want to see them getting shoved around, whether it's a Jets second tier line or whatever. Who was it? Kim. We were talking yesterday in Deuce's chat about how the Jets, they're all talking about how the Jets they have a good offensive line. I'm like, Aaron Rodgers lasted 3 plays.
How old's Tyron Smith?
Well, our offensive line was worse. We just had a quarterback that didn't get destroyed.
Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt on a sack. He got hurt on It's just the fucking
Right.
Achilles popped, you know?
Right. Oh, I know. Well, he was getting taken down when it happened. But yeah, Kim says I want to see that defense move fast.
Sure, I do
That's
too.
exactly what I want to see too.
And I don't want to see, from whatever the first team the Jets, bring out against our defense. I don't want to see big holes wide open and their running back Breece Hall goes and runs for 40 fucking yards. That's what I do not want to see.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, I expect better out of our linebackers.
Yeah. But what I do want to see when it comes to the defense is the cornerbacks. I want to see Benjamin St. Juice and Mike Adams or Mike Davis or
Mike Davis.
Whatever.
Mike Davis, yeah.
Because we've already seen enough Benjamin St. Ghost. I mean, we never see him at all because he
Benjamin
just
St. Dust.
disappears. But I wanted to see. I really want to see Forbes for at least a half. I want to see him for at least a half. I think
That's
he needs to
tough.
be out there.
It's kind of tough because they have that thing that the camera that's out there on the wires that flies around over top of the play, right? Those wires, he can get kind of you can lose him in there if it gets in front of your screen there.
That blade of grass, he's hiding behind that blade of grass.
Where did he go? So yeah, the defensive backs is obvious. I want to see good communication. I want to see better coverage downfield. All right, Emmanuel Forbes. That was the name on everybody's lips, but I kept bringing it up that if you watch on that one play in particular, Quan Martin, he gets kind of his eyes get taken and his body shows it, and he takes a step the wrong way, and that's when it all opens up. So I want to see good communication. I want to see good things. Linebackers, honestly, do I want to see Frankie Louvu play? Not really. Do I need to see Bobby Wagner play? Not really. I'd rather see Jordan McGee play. Jordan, right? Yeah, thank you. Got his name right. There you go. Johnny Newton, if it's bad weather, Sandra Still, I want to see play. Yes. Yeah. Sandra, I want to see all our rookies play.
Sandra Still is going to play a big role in this defense this year.
Absolutely. And I want to see him get out there and get started.
He may, if things don't go right, you might see him on the outside at some point in time.
Yeah, well, I agree with Kim here. We're worried about I agree with Kim here. She says we're worried about our cornerbacks. If our D-line and linebackers are doing their jobs, it would make it easier for the DBs. And I agree. Like, we watched this practice yesterday. She was in there with us yesterday. We were watching that. Everybody's going off because of the long touchdown to Wilson. But there's no rush, There's no pressure. The quarterback just said he can just stand back there and throw it whenever the hell he wants. So, yeah, man, I think that should make a big difference. And that's where I'm expecting to see the biggest difference in our defense this year is in pressure, attack.
But what was good to see from the practice yesterday was Louvu again. Louvu absolutely destroyed Smith. Got around the outside of him and then said, "You know what? I'm gonna go for the quarterback." And they said it would have been a sack. Tyrod Taylor had to throw the ball away, couldn't even get the play off. So, yeah, I think he is going to be a big danger, and I think he's going to end up being a fan favorite, for this team.
Dude, I tell you what, I think by Christmas, Scouse will be wearing a skirt, just like Frankie Louvu. It's going to take DC area by storm.
It's not a skirt, man. He's just wearing a sarong, and there's nothing wrong with that when you're an Islander. Trust me, it's all good. It's all good. I've worked with a lot of Fijians and Tongans, and they are some absolutely crazy dudes. And if he's got that heritage in him, Samoan, Tongan, Fijian, that sort of heritage, then fair play to him, man.
I bet it's comfortable. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you do not want to tackle them playing
have rugby. That kind of air conditioning walking around. That would be nice. I got to
let them hang free.
Hey, man, why not? People bring their service dogs into the grocery store. Why can't I just come walking in there in my sarong? Whatever. Let's see. All right. So we were talking about, let me go back to our list here. We're talking about the edges that you were bringing up, Scott. So,
it's an interesting one because I looked at, again, the unofficial depth chart that's done by PR people, as Jesse said. Where's Andre Jones in all this? Where's KJ Henry? Not much
7th round
being
picks.
talked about. Not being talked about much in camp. But when you look at that depth chart, Baptiste is higher up than he's higher up that depth chart than Andre Jones is. And it's, do you pick a 7th round pick and keep him from last year's squad, or do you think, oh, well, I've drafted this guy in the 7th round this year, and he's our guy, so we're going to give him a bit of bias? It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
I do think
because
there's got to be some bias in it. I mean,
definitely,
of course there does.
Definitely.
Jesse.
I don't see both Jones and KJ Henry making the team. If I had to throw a dart, I'm saying KJ Henry because I think I like his attitude a little bit better. Look at Scott, just straight from the bottle. Man, that is just some hot vodka. Look at that. People in America don't know. Is it really?
Guzzler there, buddy. You're a good
All right,
guzzler.
so it's Coors Light.
I'm thinking. This is my thought process.
Orange
if there's a chance,
It looks like a fucking dishwashing liquid bottle.
for Jamin
Sorry, Jesse, you're trying to make a point.
If there is a chance for Jamin Davis to make the team, he's going to have to bump both KJ Henry and Andre Jones off.
And that ain't going to happen.
Nah, I tell you what, I think if it comes down to the numbers game and they look at those 3 players, he's making the team. One of those other 2 is gone. And I think it would be Jones.
It's a tough one because we've got 11 players trying to get into probably 6 spots. And 11 into 6 just doesn't go. So where do you? What we're gonna lose some talent or some people who started games that will get picked up by other teams on waivers. That's a certainty.
Armani Jones got picked up by the Eagles.
Rogers,
sorry.
He went to the
Rogers
Eagles,
I get my Armani's mixed up. I think it was Scouse that said to me this week he wanted to get some Versace, and I can you trade an Armani for some Versace?
And Sip went, didn't he? He went to Christian Hayes went to the Giants. So
right. Yeah. So it's interesting when we have a new dynamic in town that our players that we cut get picked up by other people. The Giants, whatever. They're going to pick up anything that they think can help them, I think. And the Eagles, I don't know what they were trying to get out of Armani Rogers. Are they having tight end problems up there?
No, I don't think they are. I think they've just kind of brought him in as a camp body. Almost.
Yeah, they do that shit all the time. They want to get some
beat him with a rubber hose, try to get some information.
They'll both get cut.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, practice squad probably, but also it gives you a bit of an idea that are they trying to look at our scheme?
Well, of course they are. They're going to try to beat it out of them.
To get out as much as they can, yeah.
When we're talking about the final 53, we got to make everybody remind them that we will be on the First Take podcast next Saturday at 6:30. That's prior to the game against the Dolphins, where we're us and Toothpick are going to predict the final 53. And
very interesting. Definitely.
Yeah, it'll be good. So make sure you're there for the first pick or for the
first string
podcast. Sorry, we've had it's been a long day, and this is not there's no water in here.
Yeah, Kim. It's tough. I had high hopes for Jamin Davis. Unfortunately, it's a numbers game, and I just don't see where this guy's going to fit. I just don't see it.
Well, look at
that's where
his comment there. I mean, he's saying there Davis will play linebacker tomorrow and get roasted and then get cut.
See, I think that they would probably maybe give him some shots at linebacker early, but they'll move him to defensive end. And like I said, are you going to look at those 3, KJ Henry, Andre Jones, and him, and cut him?
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now
because that's where his spot's going to be. One of those 2 guys is going to lose out.
I've got the roster up here. So you've got Dorrance Armstrong, Cleveland Farrell, Dante Fowler Jr. All 3 definitely on the roster. Right. Then you've got KJ Henry, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, Andre Jones, FAO Bardu's kind of a DN stroke tackle is where we're at there. So there's 7 there.
And Jean-Baptiste has been killing it all offseason.
Yep.
And they will take him over their other 7th over a Ron's 7th rounder.
Yeah.
Andre Jones, I think, would be in trouble.
Then when you get to tackle, now bearing in mind you're probably only going to keep 10 at absolute maximum. You've got John Allen, Federian Mathis, Hagi Nudambusi, who's
you're keeping 10 defensive line.
Total, yeah. Johnny Newton, Deron Payne, Noel Pollard, Benning Potato, John Ridgway, Stallworth's there now. Then you've got and so there's a lot of people there. I mean, I've just rattled off 15 names there. So there's 5 of them are definitely getting cut. And then you're telling me, John, that you're going to put Davis on there on top of that?
Yeah, I'm going to put Davis on.
That's a tough spot.
Look, I'll tell you what. When you're talking about 7th round picks, and the cost for Davis is still negligible. If they feel
I don't
like
think it is at $4.5 million.
I tell you what.
Well,
it's negligible enough,
so it doesn't matter. So
that by October, can you turn him into a 5th round pick?
No.
No.
How can you turn? No way. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, that is just
Please go ahead,
stupid.
Lay it out for me, Scott.
And the only reason I'm saying it's plain stupid is because why would you pay for someone in any picks at all when he has less than 6 months on his contract, and you get this guy to walk for nothing?
Because
doesn't make any
sometimes
sense at all.
Sometimes
the only thing I think you'll get is a bag of chips and a jugs machine. That is it. You might be able to say
him.
We might need a jugs machine.
Yeah, or you might be able to say swap a 7th for a 6th, something like that.
Yeah.
Look,
that is,
or they could decide to keep him and wait out the contract and then get a compensatory pick.
Yeah, they could do that.
Oh,
That's
yeah, you
true,
do.
too.
So what would you?
But
get
he
as
ain't getting a third because no one's going to pay him that type of money.
Yeah, up to a third. So you can turn him into a 5th, like I just said. And the thing is, sometimes a team, all right, not everybody's smart. Okay, really, we've seen this in our own camp plenty of times. Not everybody is smart, and sometimes they make deals so that they can keep somebody that they think is hot shit off the market. Because once they hit, once he goes out there on in free agency, it's anybody's game. So sometimes they'll say, "All right, I'll pony up this 6th round pick or this 5th round pick just to make sure he's mine, and then I'll renegotiate." As
well, you have to have a top 3rd contract in your position to warrant even getting a compensatory pick. So he's not going to get that.
No, we're not.
There's no one out there who's going to.
We might get a little package of chuckles out of the goddamn Lance machine. That's about it.
You might get it if he's
got to be able to sign a con. He's got to go to another team, sign a contract.
Yeah, that's got to be within the top 3rd of that position. So I don't know what linebacker is at the minute.
It's not much. Linebacker is one of the cheapest. One is the cheapest positions, on paid positions in the NFL.
Even still,
it's a tough sell though. It's a tough sell. So, but I just honestly think he does make the team, and I think he stays. We see out his contract, and that's him gone in the summer. But I can understand why.
I don't think they can waste a spot on him. That's where I come from. I don't think they're going to waste a spot on him.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Scott, do you have a list?
Yeah. I mean, a list this week? No, I don't. I didn't prepare a list.
All right. Well, then.
A list of non-lists.
This week, we're going to list the weeks that Scott does not have a list.
That's a great shout, actually.
August 9th.
9th, yeah. I'm trying to think of, what else? What can we think about that I could put?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We are going to. Who wants to play in our fantasy football league? We have one spot for one Yank left. Who wants it?
Yank means American.
American.
It does, yeah.
Right, it does. You don't have any. There's none of those rituals to get into the league or anything like that. But we're just going to play
go ahead. It's Yam or
one of our regulars that are out there. Yeah. Scott,
Brian. Yeah, anyone want to play?
Brian, we have one spot.
Don't sound so desperate, Scott. Jesus Christ.
Please come and join us. Yay, friends.
Join our league.
Fantasy football friends.
The caveat is you will have to join us live on the podcast because we are going to be drafting.
We'll be drafting live on the podcast, which, of course, everybody will be all excited about because, who doesn't like to watch a bunch of guys doing this?
How crazy is that going to be with all these people on, though? 10 people.
Well, we'll see how it is. We'll see how it goes. And I don't think it should be too crazy. I do own a bullwhip, and I can crack it. We can keep these people in line. All right, so we are also going to have a Pick'ems League because Scott, Jesse, and I are football fanatics. And on Saturday afternoons, usually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody's, having their snacks at halftime of the college football game, we do our NFL picks, and it's usually a lot of fun. Scott, for some stupid reason, writes everything down in an actual book because, he's – He's got a brand new Big and Boss.
The Big and Boss book.
Look at him stroke that thing. My God.
Oh,
it smells like new paper.
I think I've got a season's worth of paper left in this book. Ooh. So I'm gonna have to pick one up from the shop when I'm there, though.
There you go. So
another Big and Boss book. I like writing it down,
and just tell the audience who has won money 2 years in a row.
You have.
You've
been the money winner 2 years in a row. I tend to take chances.
The first year we all made profit, and then last year I think I was.
I made money last year.
2,500 down. John, you made about $3,000, and Jesse, you were about $6,000 last year, which was
Jesse did well.
Very good.
Scott did so poorly that he had to go out with women that gave him chlamydia.
Please don't spread that around. And
I'm not spreading anything, Mr.
We're
Chlamydia.
all amongst friends here. We're all amongst friends.
All right, so if anybody missed the story, Scott went and hung out himself in a 19th century steampunk brothel and came home with chlamydia.
Wow.
That was really only COVID, but I figured it'd be more fun if we called it chlamydia because that's what he told me it was, and like an idiot, I believed him. See, now he knows he can tell me anything.
I've just noticed here, actually, looking at my notes quite a while ago, I don't even see that. It says standout players that I thought were going to be good in the draft that we could draft. And I've got Jordan McGee on here. So,
there you go.
That was before we talked to Ken, I think.
I tell you what,
quite a while
you've
ago.
probably got a list of lists that you like.
I have a lot.
Let me ask you, Scott, where do you contemplate your list at?
Where do I contemplate?
Is it like
at
you know where? On top of a toilet with no fucking water in it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Exactly that. Yeah. Of course. In the only other room that I reside in, the one that's got the throne in it. Of course.
Right.
When you're thinking about it at work, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. It's like, okay, what am I going to do here? Oh no, I'll think about what I've got to do for my list. And I don't have quills. The ink is wrong. I only use slate now, Brian. So,
there you go.
Get with the times. Come on.
All right. Well, my wife is giving me that. It's after 1 hour.
That
I'm
sideways
hungry,
look, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to find the music that I got to put on here for this.
Predictions for tomorrow?
I don't care about the score. I really don't give a shit about the score. As always, like you're supposed to say, I hope no one gets hurt. I really don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah,
at least on our team.
No injuries.
Yep.
No injuries.
I want to see I want to see some quality play. I don't want to see them lost, man.
I would like for the defense to not let the opposing team score, and I would like the offense to score.
Right.
And I'm glad it's at 5:00 at night, which is a great time for me. That is, yeah.
I gotta say,
great time.
It's weird, especially because look, I mean, I've been into it this Olympics. The women's U.S. soccer team is playing for gold at 11 o'clock, and then at 12 o'clock I have kickoff for the Commanders game. So I'll be doing the back thing, which means I'll be getting
invest in another TV.
Well, I don't know.
What channel is the game on? Is it on CBS or Fox?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm with my YouTube TV, and I'm gonna try to figure all this football stuff out on it right. So that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be on the phone with Max.
NFL
Max,
Plus? Are you fucking kidding me?
Who, me? No, I have the Sunday Ticket comes part of the YouTube TV.
Oh, that's dumb.
That's what we've got. And dude, for what I'm paying for it, I'm fucking happy with it. Is the only thing I care about is if I get my Commanders games. That's all. The only reason I ever kept the cable.
DAZN, we've got it on over this side. We have an app dedicated streaming.
It's usually on
platform.
NBC.
And it's 30. I think it was £30 a month. But I think it's gone up a bit. I think it's like it's about $200 for the year, all told. So it's
CBS.
NFL Plus. I'm about to fucking pay for this shit.
CBS. No, it's on CBS.
You're not.
It's on NFL Plus.
Oh well, it says CBS. So, I mean, it's a local thing, man.
Yeah,
you get Channel 9.
Yeah, I get. It's Channel 3 here. So
all right. Well, then you should be able to get it.
Jesse's got to tune in on the wireless. Listen to touchdown.
He's got airplanes going over. First Pan 394 trying to pull it.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Jesse's listening to the game on a ham radio. Some guy from Poland is relaying the score.
Air English flight 2462 to Dulles.
Right.
Take a heading of A330.
Shit.
Jesse's like, what?
All right, then. You know what? I completely forgot what I was doing, and this is what I was doing. I was looking for the music that I'm supposed to use to play us out. So
come on.
There we go. I know. If you're looking for professionalism, this ain't the place to get it, especially an hour plus into the show.
Peter and Scouse will know, though, that is exactly what we were like as kids
trying
to listen to American football. There was nothing. You're listening to some dude on like Army Forces radio going, was that a touchdown?
I mean, growing up, we had like 4
Long
channels
wave.
and the fucking bunny ears, and we're all like, all right, move it this way, move it that way, to the left, to the right, and making these contraptions out of aluminum foil just to get a fucking signal.
Dude, the fucking the seat cushion game against the Falcons in the playoffs in 1991. There was a nor'easter, right? Which for you, Scott, is like a winter hurricane. It comes through, and I mean, it blows hard. And it knocked down, an hour before kickoff, fucking cable went out. Gone. So me and my friend, we got this old FM radio cable, right, with 2 prongs on the end of it, went back to the TV, hooked it up to the antenna, and we took turns holding it out the window. We probably been lucky we didn't get struck by lightning, so that we could watch that game on some snowy ass fucking TV screen. So there you go. That's my old man story for the day. Yeah, the things that you do. Anyway, so
we'll check
be
us
back
out on YouTube. Give us a subscribe and a like, and hit that bell.
Yeah, man. Do all the things that the other podcasts tell you to do.
Yeah.
We want the same thing. If you had a good time, we're glad. We'll see you again next Friday. And I think we're not coming back to talk about a preseason game on Monday, are we?
No.
All right.
Well, no. We'll start our 2 a week. We'll start that. At week 1.
Yeah, we do Mondays.
Kind of give it a
Friday.
skip on week 2, but yeah.
Oh yeah, and then week 2, we're all gonna get together and have ourselves a good time.
Cameron, Kim, thanks for being with us. Peter and Brian and Deluxe and Scouse, I guess. Thanks. Joey, closet Joey Sly lover.
Oh,
He loves
Scout.
it.
He's got one of those Japanese pillows that looks like Joey Sly. That's what he's got. He's got a Japanese Joey Sly pillow.
Joey Sly.
All right, that's enough of that. We'll see you later.